Okay, we're good. Hello everyone, welcome to a Ramona tutorial. This is again a review of my the current world record for Ramona, and I'm just going to be going over some strats for this character. Ramona's changed a lot, especially over the course of me running the character for Boss Rush. So there are actually a lot of different strats, but I'm just going to be going over the ones that I currently use. And if you're looking for a unique character to play in Boss Rush, I would definitely recommend this character, just purely because of how different they are from the rest of the cast in terms of what they offer. Because the main thing you're gonna want to know about Ramona is her her fast strong combo. If you see my other tutorials, you know I talk about fast strong a lot. It's not really a thing with this character. It's annoyingly hard to hit and very inconsistent with how it stuns, so we actually don't use it that much. But for this first part, there used to be a strat where you hyper in subspace because Ramona's assist is giving herself hyper. But I learned that it is only slightly slower to just ignore hyper. And I'm going to be honest, it makes this fight a lot easier to ignore hyper for at least the first part of it. So we're going to rush in here. It's just going to be a strong attack, and then fire punch. And then for most characters, you go up, down here. But I'd actually recommend running back and forth, just because Ramona's ground pound is a little harder to hit than the rest of the characters. And also, he's going to land here rather than like over here with most characters. So considering he's landing literally right on top of you, I wouldn't recommend moving up and down because you might get to him too fast and miss the ground pound. But yeah, it's a sliding strong attack and then fire punch. If you don't know how to do slide attacks, run at the enemy and then before inputting your attack, stop running basically, and you'll just slide into them with whatever attack you do. If you do a dash, then you didn't let go of run fast enough. So on to Lucas and on to actually having hyper. So I'm going to slow this down a little bit because hyper makes you move really fast. And a lot of these strats are going to be very, very fast paced, especially when you're doing it in an actual run. So you're going to have really good sense of timing to play this character. But basically, slowing it down here, you're going to see another sliding strong, and then fire punch. And then we're just going to pound him on the ground. Now, you want to be really, really fast with getting the ground pound on Lucas, because you're going for 4 hits here. If you are even slightly slower, you're probably just going to get 3 hits and he's going to get back up, or you're going to get the fake KO. But if you ground pound him fast enough, you will be able to do 4 hits and he will just straight up die. And just to give you an idea of how fast that is in real time, I won't do slowdown for every fight, just because I want to capture how fast hyper is. But I will have to use slowdown for stuff like this, just to explain new mechanics. But yeah, there it is. That's how fast that is. The sliding strongs, you have to be really precise with your movement because you're going to be sliding really far with hyper, and you really don't want to be sliding behind a boss where you're going to be missing your attacks. Okay. I do still need slowdown to explain this, though. Lynette as a fight changed a little bit. I originally did a move where you would set up for a hyper combo, but we're not going to set up for a hyper combo anymore because that leaves her flying in the middle of nowhere, and we want to kill them as close to the ground as possible so they transition as fast as possible. So rather than do all that, we're just going to do sliding strong and then a immediate fire punch. Only 1 sliding strong this time, not 2. And then normally Lynette would teleport out of this, but if you time it just right, you can use a strong dash attack as they're trying to teleport and get back up to force a block. And once you have gotten this forced block, you could just fire punch again and they'll die. Again, might as well show full time here. That's how fast it is, and you could see that I used the strong attack to ensure that Lynette blocks so she can't teleport away. Alright, I don't really need to slow this one down. All you really need to know about Todd is move down so he does this attack and then just punch him. Go ham on him, honestly. Do whatever move you want. I just did fire punches because you can usually make it so that you don't have to kill him on the ground with 2 fire punches, but I got a little unlucky. Alright, so we don't have Hyper here. We actually didn't enter the fight with Hyper. Sometimes you're just not going to enter Todd with Hyper. I don't know what the problem with the fight is, but sometimes it just deletes your Hyper. But the strat still works the same. It's just a little slower. But for, we're going to intentionally not have Hyper for Roxy. Stand on the box here because we're doing trash can, of course. Hold on one moment. Sorry about that. I had to cough. But anyways, you know the drill with Roxy by now if you've seen any other videos. We just slam them. And if you're following the Steven route, you know that once she gets up the second time, you could just throw the can. If you need any more help on Roxy, again, I recommend checking out my other tutorials where I go a little bit more in depth for some of these. It's just that a lot of these fights like Roxy and Robot are the exact same for most characters. Even Ramona, where you just use the trash can. Alright, so weak robot. If you don't know how to do weak robot, I'll explain real quick. Because, again, I already explained this with other weak characters, but here we go. You're going to want to hit this hand with a double jump and then hit another hand with a double jump. As long as you're hitting both hands with the double jump, it works. And you see, I set up rebound damage by getting hit once. I actually get pretty unlucky with this robot hand getting comboed like that, so I miss a clapless, but it doesn't really matter that much as long as you're setting up rebound and then you're ready to get the rebound on the next time you get hit. Run, jump, bounce off the sides. Okay, unique strats, which is what we're here in this tutorial for. So what you want to do for twins is we're going to do rebound twins. There are faster ways to kill twins with Ramona. It's just, again, super inconsistent. It's why twins is so annoying for a lot of weaker characters because they can just hit you and do whatever they want. But this is a way that you can ensure that no matter what, you will have a kill on them as long as you get the rebound right. So we're just going to strong dash into them. Both of them are going to knock down. And the moment they get back up, you see they're going to join together here to do a joint attack. And depending on what attack you get, if you get the spin attack, it'll work on either side. If you get the punch attack, you want to make sure that they're punching you. But you're going to do the exact same thing as rebound where you jump and then hold in the direction of the attack, or hold in the direction that the attack is sending you, and you're just gonna get flung. Like, you get flung by this move, and there's almost no way you miss the rebound after you get hit. But that's the strat. Not much explanation for Negascott. I will say you can do this strat with hyper or without hyper. It doesn't change much either way because you have to wait until he falls to the ground to re-hit him with the fire punch. But basically, we're just going to smack him with fire punches. If he gets a little unrowdy, you can try to strong dash him just to get him to the ground. If you want him to just stop doing some crap. But Fire Punch is recommended because they are unblockable, and it does make this fight pretty free. I would say this is one of the easier Negascots. Okay. Gideon. What we want to get for Gideon is you want to get him into a situation where you can shove him into a wall. And the reason why you want to do that is because we're going to try to chain attacks to deal a lot more damage. So in any percent, you spawn down here, and there's actually a setup for it if you don't know it. The setup for it in any percent is just cast Hyper, roll to dodge his attack, and then strong dash him. But there is no setup in Boss Rush, unfortunately. It's just, it's too random. By the time you get to him, who knows what the hell's going to happen. So you see, I get a move where he sort of backs up. I'm going to Fire Punch him. And if you see that he gets launched and sticks to this wall, that's how you know that you're in. If you're not in and he bounces off, you're just going to have to, you know, double jump, Gideon lock, and then just take your one Fire Punch hit. But if you get him stuck to the wall, we're going to double jump to handle the Gideon lock, and then Fire Punch. We're doing another Fire Punch. Delay this Fire Punch a little bit, or else you're going to miss it because he's being flung pretty high. And then Fire Punch, Fire Punch. That's 4 Fire Punches, and that is a lot of damage. You can only do this with Hyper, by the way. If you lose Hyper, do the double jump, Gideon lock him, and then just cast Hyper and Fire Punch him back to the ground. Hopefully he stays in the place that he was when you lost the Hyper. But yeah, that's just unfortunate to lose Hyper here. So again, Fire Punch, delay. Oh, I actually miss 2 Fire Punches here. It is easy to miss them. That is a good example of it's pretty easy to miss. Do another Gideon lock, and then again, this just comes with experience. If you know how hard he's flashing, you can kind of tell, okay, I can just do like 1 Fire Punch and then ground pound him. No need to do anything fancy. Just get the fight done with and get the early transition. Also worth noting, sometimes you're going to get him stuck on a wall and do the Fire Punches, and the Fire Punches are just not going to connect after the first one. It's just, there's nothing you can really do about it. It's just a matter of sometimes the game doesn't want you to chain hits in the air with this guy. Alright. So Gideon, strat doesn't really change. If you enter this fight with Hyper, just be really careful that as you're dashing forward here, you don't accidentally dash all the way here and get electrocuted. Because that would suck. But we're going to go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then Ramona, as long as you're hitting as soon as possible when the hands come down, you can actually just straight up take him out in one swoop. She's the weakest character with thrown objects that can still do a 1 cycle. But yeah. Standard dash down for Gideon 3, and then try to get those crit hits by backing up and running back into him, sliding into him as he gets back up. If he blocks you, that's just unfortunate. It's just a part of the fight. And a little bit of a sloppy ending. I wanted to get 2 ground pound hits there to kill him, but overall not that bad.